I was going to read from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles again. Chapter 12, Effective Action. You, which was capitalized, must use your thought as directed in previous chapters and begin to do what you can do where you are, and must do all, which again was another capitalized word, that you can do where you are. You could advance only be being larger than your present place, and no man is larger than his present place who leaves undone any of the work pertaining to that place. The world is advanced only by those who more than fill their present places. If no man quite filled his present place, you can see that there must be a going backwards in everything. Those who do not quite fill their present places are dead weight upon society, government, commerce, and industry. They must be carried along by others at a great expense, which in these days, some people might look at people who aren't working as dead weight. But to me, if you have a way to earn money, you're doing what you can. The progress of the world is retarded only by those who do not fill the place they are holding. They belong to a former age and a lower stage or plane of life, and their tendency is towards degeneration. No society could advance if every man was smaller than his place. Social evolution is guided by the laws of physical and mental education. In the animal world, evolution is caused by excess of life. When an organism has more life than can be expressed in the function of his own plane, it develops the organs of a higher plane, and a new species is originated. There never would have been new species had there not been organisms with which more than filled their places. The law is exactly the same for you. Your getting rich depends upon you applying this principle to your own affairs. Every day is either a successful day or a day of failure, and it is the successful days which get you what you want. And every day is a failure, you can never get rich. While if every day is a success, you cannot fail to get rich. If there is something that can be done today and you do not do it, you have failed insofar as the thing is concerned. And the consequence may be more disastrous than you can imagine. You cannot foresee the results of even the most trivial act. You do not know the workings of all of the forces that have been set moving in your behalf. Much may be depending on you doing some simple act. It may be the very thing which is to open the door of opportunity to great possibilities. You can never know all of the combinations which supreme intelligence is making for you in the world of things and human affairs. Your neglect or failure to do some small things may cause a long delay in getting what you want. Do every day all that you can do, or all that can be done that day. There is, however, a limitation or qualification of the above that you must take into account. You are not to overwork nor to rush blindly into your business in the effort to be the greatest possible number of things in the shortest possible time. You are not to try to do tomorrow's work today, nor to do a week's worth in a day. It is really not he number. Oh, so looks like in my copy it says he, but it was meant to be the. It is really not the number of things you do, but the efficiency of each separate action that counts. Every act is in itself either success or failure. Every act is in itself either effective or ineffective. Every ineffective act is a failure, and if you spend your life in doing ineffective acts, your whole life will be a failure. The more things you do, the worse for you if all your acts are ineffective ones. On the other hand, every effective act is a success in itself. And if every act of your life is an effective one, your whole life must be a success. The cause of failure is doing too many things in an ineffective manner and not doing enough things in an effective manner. So, to me, that's kind of, art is your focus spread too far, or is it narrow and, laser focused on something? The more you spread out, giving, 10% here, 20% there, 17% here, 33% there, you might make progress on some things and not get any of them done. So you kind of have to be conscious of, if you're doing things effectively or ineffectively. You will see that it is a self-evident proposition that you do not do any ineffective acts. And if you do sufficient number of effective acts, you will become rich. If now it is possible for you to make each act an effective one, you see again that the gain of riches is reduced to an exact science, like mathematics. The matter turns then on the question whether you can make each separate act a success itself, and this you can certainly do. You can make each act a success because all power is working with you, and all power cannot fail. Power is at your service, and to make each act efficient, you have only to put power into it. Every action is either strong or weak, and when everyone is strong, you are acting in the certain way which will make you rich. Every act can be made strong and effective or efficient by holding your vision while you are doing it and putting the whole power of the faith and purpose into it. So, again, like in some previous chapters, we're seeing, faith and purpose talked about, and vision. It is at this point that people fail to separate mental power from personal action. They use the power of mind in one place and at one time, and they act in another pace and at another time. So their acts are not successful in themselves. Too many of them are ineffective. But if all power goes into every act, no matter how commonplace, every act will be a success in itself. And as in the nature of things, every success opens the way to other successes. your progress towards what you want and the progress of what you want towards you, you will become increasingly rapid. Remember that successful action is cumulative in its results. Since the desire for more life is inherent in all things, when a man begins to move towards larger life, more things attach themselves to him, and the influence of his desire is multiplied. Do every day all that you can do that day, and do each act in an effective manner. In saying that you must hold your vision while you're doing each act, however trivial or commonplace. I do not mean to say that it is necessary at all times to see the vision distinctly to the smallest detail. It should be the work of your leisure hours to use your imagination on the details of your vision, and to contemplate them until they are firmly fixed upon memory. If you wish speedy results, spend practically all your spare time in this practice. So where visualizations kind of described in this last paragraph, that's kind of part of the law of attraction is, kind of having your vision and focusing on the details. And then earlier in the chapter, it kind of talks about, you don't just want to be kind of like creating it in your mind, but you also want to be taking action. By continuous contemplation, you will get the picture of what you want, even to the smallest detail, so firmly fixed upon your mind, and so completely transformed to the mind of formless substance, that in your working hours you need only to mentally refer to the picture to stimulate your faith and purpose, and cause your best effort to be put forth. Contemplate your picture in your leisure hours until your conscience is so full of it that you can grasp it instantly. You can become so enthused with its bright promise that the mere thought of it will call forth the strongest energies of the whole being. And so where it talks about being enthusiastic about this, emotions kind of go hand in hand with the idea of visualization and law of attraction. Let us again repeat our syllabus and be slightly changing the closing statements, bring it to the point we have now reached. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, in which an original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the things that it is imagined by the thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by pressing his thought upon formless substance can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, man must pass from competitive to creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture. So you need clarity of the things he wants, and do with faith and purpose all that can be done each day, doing each separate thing in an effective manner.